Belichick Award. Yeah, let me see. Vic Fangio. Look at the way they improved from, we say it all the time, but like I just have this image burnt in my head of the Atlanta game. People were questioning the whole thing. By the end of the season, Nolan Smith was like a big play machine. Jalen Carter, finally people coming around to him being one of the best in the league. Aaron Donald passed him the torch. Milton Williams is going to make tens of millions of dollars here soon. Josh Sweat has been really solid for them. And you turned Nakobe Dean into a damn good player. Lost him. But Zach Bond, who's the headliner of the whole thing, is up for all these awards. And a year ago, most people did not know who he was. It's time for a message from BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. The big game is coming up. New customers sign up and get up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if your first bet loses. Then check back for promotions like odds boosts, no sweat bets, and NBA and NHL second chance promos. All from the sportsbook born in Vegas. Welcome to the show. It's time to wrap up the 2024-2025 season. We've reached the end. So we're having the, what do we call this, like a banquet night or something? Or award show?
Yeah, Falcon Club.
That's what I was about to say, a little inside baseball.
Yeah.
They were like...
Inside baseball?
Inside baseball being like a little bit of an inside reference.
Okay.
Not everybody's going to remember the Falcon Club. That was a local award show.
Oh, I got you.
Where I watched Brian Leskinek and Joe Sanford win Falcon Club Player of the Year my senior year. That was tough. I didn't even care, but everybody was like, "Who?" Those guys are awesome. I roomed with Brian Leskinek at Virginia,
and he ran for like 6,000 yards.
He was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
It wasn't best potential player.
Yeah,
it was. I mean, they were. It was like, what did they run the option over there? Wing T?
Maybe a wing T. Yeah.
Shout out to my dog Leskinek.
B-Les got in against Temple. Y'all remember 51-3 against Temple?
Yeah, I do. It was first game of our college career, that class.
Oh, that was the opener.
Yeah, opener.
Nice.
And then the first game of my pro career, same building. So getting our ass kicked by the Eagles. Yeah, seriously.
Wow.
Out there fucking, oh my God, it's Trey Thomas and John Runyon. Oh my God, it's Brian Westbrook on a wheel. Steven Jackson just got decapitated. The NFL's really hard.
This game hasn't slowed down for me yet.
No, it has not slowed down. I can imagine the guys now without a preseason, it just being the craziest thing in the world. Anyways, it's a banquet night. So we've got about 34 awards to give out. And Cowboy Reed has compiled a list of them. And he will be running the award section of this show.
We'll be rocking in a little bit.
We'll be rocking. First thing I want to say, non-sports, Severance. Okay, we're on season 2. No spoilers. But I think it's genius what they're doing. Not just the plot, but the fact the plot's so fucking complicated, they're probably getting people that are restreaming season 1 just off rip. I mean, it's the most complicated show ever.
What's Severance about?
It's wonderful.
It's hard to describe.
Okay.
Not really.
People go to work, they get zapped, and they're like a different person.
Okay.
So a lot of them are like distressed at home and they want to check out for a while.
Okay.
Your home life and your work life are completely separate.
Severed.
They're severed.
You might say.
Ah, nice.
But it's a complicated fucking show. Would you not agree?
I gotta check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if you just go in cold, they also delayed the season
By 3 years.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's like who remembers?
Yeah.
I have a movie you guys should check out that's on right now. But if you're
what is it?
If you're a Channing Tatum fan,
Who among us would not be a Channing Tatum fan?
He's never done anything wrong to me.
if you watch this movie, he's so good in it that after you're like, why would you pick this part to play?
Blink twice?
Yes. Did you watch it?
No, but Kingston put it on above you.
Oh man, you gotta
Quick
see
draw
it.
McGraw.
It's a good
Dude,
watch.
he's really good in some movies.
Bro, it's a suspense movie, and it's like the whole time, like you're literally sitting there, like you're kind of like on your toes, your heart's kind of beating, like what's about to happen, and just a bunch of little plot twists.
I got one for you. Saw it yesterday. Dog Man.
Dog Man.
Pretty good. If you got kids, go see Dog Man. It's awesome.
Part dog, part man, all hero.
So the plot's amazing.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Let me tell you about the plot. Don't look. I'll tell you. Dog and cop, like it's like a buddy cop thing. They just ride around solving mysteries and shit.
Okay.
The cop's really dumb, and the dog's also dumb, kind of because he's a dog. But they get in this terrible accident, and they take him to the hospital, and they're like, man, the dog's body's not going to make it. It's all wrapped in gauze like a mummy.
Oh, it's like a centaur.
Hold on. And then they get to don't jump to conclusions. And they get to the cop, and they're like, oh my God, your face is ruined. We got to find you a new face. Light bulb. They just combine the two. But he doesn't come out speaking like a human or anything. He's just got arms and legs, and he's got this fucking tennis ball.
Can I pause this for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Is this like a cartoon movie, or is this like
No, it's based on a true story.
And are you sitting down? The doctor is the kid's mother.
Yeah. Hey, that's a motherfucker right there, dude.
Wait, what?
Wait. No, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So the parent and the kid get in this terrible accident. So the parent dies in the accident, all right? And they rush the kid to the ER.
Yeah.
And they're in the operating room, and pretend for a second you can't operate on your own child. And the doctor says, I can't operate on this child.
Okay.
That's my kid.
That's my son. How's that possible?
Guys, what are we doing? I'm sorry.
It's a riddle.
No, it's a tough one.
The doc,
I didn't get it the first time.
the doc in the
And
OR
I felt just like this.
is the kid's mom.
It's a woman.
So it's a woman
There are
doctor.
women doctors. Clearly.
Guys.
Same thing happened to me.
Guys. Like, time out.
Yeah.
I'm
20-second TO.
I'm severely confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't make it easy.
First off,
Yeah.
was this whole thing a bit and a joke, or
No.
is this, This
No,
is a
Dog
real-
Man is real.
Dogman's real, dude.
Okay,
Yeah.
so was my question answered, or was that a joke? When I asked, is this like a cartoon movie, or like is this like a movie with real people? Or
Well, let's play that out for a second.
No,
If it were
not
a movie-
play it out.
No.
Just the answer.
No,
like
no.
Yes or no.
It's a cartoon.
Okay, that's all I want.
No
Like, I guess,
question.
how would it work if it were real people?
No,
That would be a hell of a
even-
costume
even
design
you guys
would be crazy.
explaining it right now to me.
Yeah.
I don't see even how it works as a cartoon.
No, that's the way I felt sitting in the theater, but you know what?
Oh, this was also in the theaters.
I
You
saw it yesterday.
Paid to see this,
Bro, it fucking worked.
It
It
worked.
was really good. It was really good. Go see Dogman
Dog Man.
and tell that riddle to every man in your family at the dinner table tonight.
But with a preamble about how parents can't operate on their children,
Yeah, exactly.
or else read back on how to tell it correctly.
It's a tough riddle, man. I
Yeah.
remember the first time I was like, man,
So you've seen this movie too?
Dog Man?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, he hadn't seen Dogman.
Okay.
But you should see Dogman, in my opinion.
Dog Man.
All right.
It's like the opposite of Severance. It's like combined.
Exactly. Same time.
Yeah. Combination, it could have been called.
Combination.
When he went back, there was a time in the movie. There was a sad point in the movie when Dogman they put him back together. He was Dogman, and he goes back to his house, and he's having these flashbacks of him and him sitting on the couch. It's sad, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. Talking football, talking basketball. Start with the basketball. We don't talk a lot of basketball, but I woke up this morning. I've been doing this thing where I put my phone. I have like an outbuilding wherein I do my work, and I put my phone out there. So phone's just out there. Go to sleep, wake up in the morning, don't look at a phone, nothing. It's actually amazing. And woke up this morning, walked in the kitchen, and my son just, Did you hear about the trade? And I'm like, how fucking big a deal could it be? It's going to be like Rudy Gobert. You know what I mean? Because I just had Russillo on, and he was talking about how Super Bowl week sucks because it ruins the NBA trade deadline or vice versa. And he was joking about, what am I going to miss a trade for? Like, who did he?
De'Aaron Fox, maybe.
It was the guy who went to the Knicks last year, the European guy, Bogdanovich. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Trade deadline sucks. Who cares? And then Luka and 7 other players, including Anthony Davis, in a 3-way trade.
Yeah.
What's your theory on this?
The Mavericks must have thought that Luka wasn't going to sign an extension and was going to ask for a trade, so they figured pull the rug before people realized that he wants out. But that being said, you got to think they could get more for him. It's like one of the most shocking trades I've ever seen. I didn't believe it this morning. I did the same thing.
I thought it was
bed
fake.
last night.
You know what
I
it
was
is?
like, shut up, come on, that's not real.
I thought it was fake.
You know what it is?
I don't even watch, but I was like, you don't do that. What is it?
Fat shaming is up in the NBA, man. That's all it is. Guys gain a little weight and people freak out. You see what they did to Zion?
Yeah.
You see what they did to Zion?
Yeah.
And if someone put a trade on the table for Zion like this, they probably would have did it. All the stuff they went through with him. And they're saying that Luka maybe is getting too big. They have the video of Michael Finley taking the beer out of his hand after
that video looks bad now.
It does.
I mean, it looked bad when it happened. You don't take a beer from like another grown man.
You do
especially when he just did what he did.
But you
just
do
win a basketball game.
You do if maybe your nutritionist and the guys behind the scenes are saying, "Hey, we know he's great, but his vitals and the way he's going and how young he is, he's not going to be able to last that long." And if they haven't seen anything change, that might scare you as a front office.
I just wouldn't have made the trade.
Nah. And you're trading for Anthony Davis, who
And that's
6 years older.
That's hate.
Injury
That's a little
history.
hate.
Is it?
Bro.
Anthony Davis, like, look, granted, if he stays healthy, he's still a dog. He's still a player, and you're putting him
He
with.
didn't start in crunch time for the U.S. during the Olympics.
But look, you're putting him with one of the best ball handlers ever to be on an NBA floor with Kyrie, and I just
Watch
feel
this
like
work out, and you'll look like a genius.
no, I just feel like with Kyrie, it just has a chance as long as he stays.
The only way this
healthy.
works out is if
Anthony Davis stays healthy.
Is if Luka looks like Brendan Fraser in Whale at some point.
Oh no,
That's
I think
the only way this works.
Oh,
out.
this is great for the Lakers. I think JJ Redick, through the roof with the way he wants to play with the Lakers. He wants them to shoot threes all day.
Yeah, but are the doors big enough to fit his fat ass through to get him into the Staples Center? Is that where they play?
I think so. As long as his fat ass can make threes.
I have to staple his stomach shut.
Hey,
and look, and
I know how's it
gonna
gonna. This guy's like morbidly obese in your mind.
But look, LA food is not better than Dallas food. You know,
that's interesting.
You know what I'm saying? Everyone goes to LA to be models and shit, and they lose weight. So
That's interesting.
So he's on his way
You're
to the
actually on
perfect spot.
God.
Look,
I'll tell you what.
movie star Luka coming soon.
You can show your math. I mean, that's pretty impressive there. The theory that in LA the food sucks, which I don't think the food sucks.
I don't think it sucks either, but
Yeah,
if you
they
think
should have sent him to
about
Portland. Nobody talks about the Portland cuisine. You know anything about Portland restaurants? Actually, that's where Nicolas Cage in The Pig
yeah.
was a truffle hunter.
Right.
So
That's a
never
good
mind. Never mind.
Portland's divided into 4 quadrants: northwest, northeast, southeast, and southwest.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What's Miami divided into?
Oh my gosh.
47 quadrants.
Isn't Portland
Wouldn't
where
be
they?
quadrants anymore, would they?
Isn't Portland where they like legalized all the drugs?
They legalized everything
Like
there.
I think so. Like there's like a place there that you could just do anything.
It's Sodom and Gomorrah.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's the worst trade in the history of
Yeah,
sports.
It's awful.
Is what it is.
It's awful.
I
But
don't-
look, my thing is
They should outlaw bad trades in the.
how. But
Mark
look,
Cuban said he'd leave his wife before he
Yeah.
let Luka go, and then he's not like he was a minority owner now,
Right.
Yeah.
so he can't veto that trade.
but
Hey, worst seat, his wife,
Yeah.
who's reminded of that quote. Like she was like, God, I hope they never trade Luka,
but here's
because I never want to see this fucking stupid quote again.
here's my
She
thing.
woke up this morning and threw a vase and screamed.
How are we already calling it the worst trade without even seeing?
because he's
what's
one of the
gonna
greatest
happen?
players to play basketball.
It's one of the
I
worst. It's
hear
one of the
that, but
worst.
what if-
Because of
what
the
if it-
return you could have gotten.
But what if it works for both teams?
Hands
Like, what
up!
if
I don't
both-
watch the
like, what-
NBA.
What if both teams make it far this year?
They might.
like say the NBA
But then
finals
check back in
last year
6
with
years.
Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks.
I mean,
But check back in 6 years too.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? When Anthony Davis is 37, and Luka is fucking anorexic because he lives in LA.
Because all the championship rings are weighing his ass down.
He's skinny as fuck. He's just going for 40 and 20 a night.
I love this.
Skinny.
I love this for JJ.
Yeah, I do too.
What a first year!
Love
What a
JJ.
First year.
Yeah. Anyways, that's enough basketball.
There's your conspiracy theory.
In bigger news, Chip
NBA.
Kelly was hired as the offensive coordinator in Vegas. Seriously.
Huh.
That's also not an Onion article. And it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he
man.
was excellent this year.
He's been a good coordinator.
Yeah.
He's been a good coordinator. The thing that sucks for him is it's all that, and this is the chance you take when you become a head coach. You talk about a jump from being a college football player to an NFL player, like the jump at exposure, the whole thing. Going from being a coordinator and a damn good coordinator, you can ruin your life being a head coach. I mean, they're still talking about him on podcasts. Not that fuck.
Hmm.
Look at this one.
Mhm.
But I'm just saying, it sucks, man. He probably didn't do a great job, but that doesn't mean he can't coach his ass off. Ohio State they were unbelievable. It is college football, but he had that stretch in Philly too. He's just not a head coach.
Yep.
I looked at a graphic today with Patrick Graham, who's really respected, really, really well respected in the league. And then Chip. And I'm like, all right, that looks pretty. This is probably going to get clipped in 2.5 years when Pete gets axed or something. But I'll blame it on Tom Brady. Seriously. I trust Tom. Whatever they're doing, it's going through Tom. And I'm sure they have a plan. So, I don't know. The other hire that perked my ears today, piqued my interest, rather.
I liked what you were doing.
Perked my ears.
Yeah.
My ears were like, whoa, even though I
Yeah.
read it.
Who?
Read it. Was Bieniemy to Chicago.
Running backs coach.
Now, listen, I know the head coach thing was kind of like, that didn't work out right, but that guy's reputation is supposedly a real motherfucker.
Yep.
He's on the details, and he's the guy that in every NFL building,
Tough cookie.
he's a tough cookie, Reed.
Tough cookie of the Chicago Bears.
No, but I've been in a lot of locker rooms, a lot of coaching staffs, and
cookie.
And sometimes you'll see something happening and you'll be like, how the fuck is that happening? You know what I mean? Like any NFL player listening or, would probably agree. Nate, you've been in some locker rooms where you're like, how is this incompetent thing happening? How is this guy who's supposed to be the best player getting away with XYZ? How is this young draft pick not being held to a high standard?
How is the Richie Incognito and the other guy situation going on?
Sure. I just mean, he's not going to let any of that shit happen. That was his rep in Kansas City. He's tough on guys. And they're going to need that. I mean, you saw some shit this year where guys were kind of not bought in. I know that, Eberflus had the vibes bad and they weren't playing well, but like you gotta be on the details, and they weren't a detail oriented team. They got a lot of problems up front, game management. So Ben's gonna solve a lot of that stuff, but you need a bad guy. You know what I mean? If Ben's gonna be kind of cool, and I don't know what he's gonna be like, I'm sure he holds people to a high standard, but it's nice to have somebody in the building that you can kind of lean on to be like, hey, nothing's gonna be left unsaid. And that's what I mean. You sit in a meeting and be like, you're not going to say anything about that detail that's not getting done. So I'm excited for Caleb having him in the building because he's going to push Caleb too.
Yeah.
Like you could probably ask Patrick Mahomes. I don't know what he would say, but I would guess Patrick Mahomes would say you got to be mentally tough to work with Eric.
And that's what Caleb needs right now. He needs to grow up. Like that's one of the things for him just outside looking in. Like he just has to mature, as
does any rookie,
for sure. But like also as the quarterback and someone that they're gonna need to be a leader of that offense, you're gonna need people to hold you accountable early in your career. So it sets a tone and a foundation for you. And
you know what else? It allows, the quarterback still got to get on everybody's ass. Like, hey, I need that route broke off where I need it broke off, or hey, get your split right or whatever.
And like you're saying, if there's a coach that maybe is doing that, saying that more and more for you, it might give you the confidence to be like. And
some hard conversations. Mm-hmm. Quarterback doesn't need to have every conversation because then you start looking, especially like young guy, like, come on, bro, we get it. Like you're growing too, and you're supposed to reach all other 10 guys on the offense and like get after all of them. Like you can, but it helps to have some tough ass coaches in the building. So what else is going on in the football world, guys?
Well, the NFL announced that they're going to explore putting measuring first downs electronically next season.
So this will be like the second rule that's been changed because of Josh Allen and the Bills getting screwed in the playoffs.
I know. It's well, I don't want to say, hey, listen, I've grown up a lot since I said what I said the other day. I need to be clear with people. I hope you listening would not think I think the NFL's rigged like that. And nobody called me nothing. I just laid the sarcasm on a little thick at that point. If you remember, I was like, hey, the moon, we didn't land on the moon. That's kind of what, but maybe I could lay it on thicker. I still don't like the call. That's not, I also think we gave Kansas City a lot of credit, in that breakdown. They won the game. And, we're going to talk about the year in review. Somebody sent in a mailbag was like, hey, what do you think the defining moment for 2024 was? And honestly, like for me, without trying to pinpoint one specific moment, I think like Kansas City's opening game against the Ravens, like they won it by, there was a controversial call, right? Which I thought they got right. Wasn't it likely back in the end zone?
The toe.
We were arguing over a toe. We start the year arguing over a toe, right? Chiefs winning a close game, the other team making mistakes, the other team being close, but maybe it's a call, but maybe it's just the Chiefs being better. And I think as we get ready to talk about this game this week, that's the scariest thing as somebody who's like pulling for the Eagles. It's a 1.5 point line. They win every one score game, and to circle back to last week, like we said, and again, I should have been clearer. They won that game fair and square, doing the little things right, where the Bills didn't do every little thing right, including the 2-point conversions and all that shit. So I think the chip in the ball is a good idea, but the reason we're talking about this, to me, it wasn't just another spot. I think the NFL talking about this is a concession, or people talking about it rather in general, is like an admission as sports fans that like, hey, this was close. It could have been really big. I still think he got it, but again, it didn't lose him the game. Troy Aikman said the quiet part out loud, which is gambling has become a really big deal. There are people. And listen, I didn't lose that much money. I'll tell you how much money I lost in that game. It was like, I think it was like, I don't want to say it. Well, because that's a loaded thing. You say how much money you lost. You say it's not that much. And people are like, you asshole. It was, I've had 15 worse losses this year. Put it in perspective. But I can imagine some people losing money and being like, "Holy shit!" Like I lost my mortgage.
But here's the
and I swear, I know you can't see the ball, but I know where the ball is.
But
So I get why we're talking about it, and I think it's probably inevitable.
But even with the chip and the digital, it's not gonna change you as the fan and you as someone who is betting to feel like if it's right or wrong.
Well, no, it's not going to change. It's not going to change
like-
the conspiracy theorist.
like,
the conspiracy
yeah.
theorist is going to say, "Hey, the NFL has rigged the spot.
No, yeah,
The NFL has rigged the chips." To somebody who really thinks there's a script, you will never be happy.
No, yeah.
But somebody like me who's like, "Hey, I got a couple bucks on the game," and just being objective, I did think he had that spot. Don't think it lost him the game. Do I think it woulda, coulda, shoulda? Sure, but that's a big spot, and we come out of the game, and I think part of my frustration leaving that game was like, my job is to talk about football, and if this is how it's going to be every fucking Monday the rest of my career, I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Like, we come into the game talking about the officiating. I've been defending the Chiefs, and I feel like I'm right.
Chief defender.
I'm chief defender. Defender in chief. And so we get to the game, and it's like fucking, it's Manning and Brady. And instead of like coming out talking about Manning and Brady, and like there was a lot of Manning and Brady stuff going. But the fact that we had to even talk about it and talk about it longer than we should because everybody's talking about it, that sucks. So it would be nice at some point. And a judgment call like PI or holding is going to be hard to litigate with a fucking chip. You're never going to be able to.
Which is good, I think.
That's what we love about the game.
We in the tennis community, right? There was the same sort of talk like, oh, we don't want to take human error out of the game. We need line judges on every line saying in or out. When the Hawkeye technology was implemented, if the ball's in or out, it was awesome. It was fantastic. And then there's a great big build up to showing on the big screen whether the ball is landed in or out, and you don't miss the human error. So I think, and the thing about this is somebody knows because the chip is in the ball.
You
currently.
think they're, yeah.
Somebody knows. Yeah.
And so if they come out, in a month or so and say, hey, actually, we have the data, like we just didn't implement it yet.
First down.
Saying that it was the right call. Like, would you change your stance? Would you still be like, I still think it was the first down?
I think if you can do something that's going to expedite the game a little bit, the thing I'll miss, and this is stupid, is the chain gang. I love the chain gang.
No.
Call me some nostalgic sucker.
No.
But I love the chain gang, dude. I don't know what kind of obsolete technology somebody who's watching this who's like 60 is like, yeah, when they got rid of X, when they got rid of a car phone, I was really into that car phone, and it might have felt nostalgic at the time, but I don't give a fuck about that car phone anymore. Maybe that's the way I'll feel in 20 years about the chain gang. But right now, I don't. Right now, I like seeing everybody crowding around the ball and doing this and like huddling, and I like everybody at the bar being like, stop, stop, stop. Like everybody shuts the fuck up for a second. It's kind of awesome.
Well, they still could have
not-
it, right? They could have the chain. They just tell them exactly where to go, and you can still have like the measuring. Like
if we
don't
can have
need
both.
the chain gang guys, they don't know when to drop the sticks at the right time. We seen a lot of those guys end up on the stretcher this year.
That's part of it.
Is seeing them on stretcher.
That's part of it.
Well, that's what makes it a badass job.
Yeah,
dude.
that's why we love the gang.
You're like a fucking traffic director at the Indy 500.
Yeah. Work on your plyometrics
No.
in the off season.
No, it's not like the Indy 500. None of those guys are getting hit by the cars, bro. When you get hit by a football
But
player,
there's no
that's
traffic
like-
directors at the Indy 500. It'd be a made up thing. But that's what it would feel like, is what I'm saying. So if we can have both, great. I mean, like, and no, it wouldn't change my stance. I'd love to know, because if somebody could just, I don't argue with things if it's proven to me that one side or the other is like empirically the winner. I would love to know if he had it or not. Just unless somebody can show me that, I feel like he had it. And what I hate is doing this a week later. So wouldn't it be nice if we had that little chip and it told us. And we call it Josh Allen rule. He's changed 2 rules now. What's the next rule going to be? Nick Wright's going to say, hey, here's a rule. After Josh Allen loses, no one can feel sorry for him. Not even a fucking little bit. Did you see that rant?
Yeah.
I love Nick Wright, bro, but I was like, Nick, you know what I think he got wrong about that rant? He was like, hey, we all grew up and we're like, hey, we want to be pro athletes. But, you know, there's just nothing bad at all about being a pro athlete at all. It's like the best thing in the world. The only bad thing is you can fail in public. Like CTE, bankruptcy, family members distancing themselves from you, people asking for tickets, crippling arthritis, isolation, addiction, fucking meetings. It's terrible, Nick.
Hey,
You're wrong. It's
anxiety.
anxiety, bro. Deferred dream of owning a river company. Yeah, so Nick, fuck you very much. There's a lot, you know, it's not just that, but I agree with Nick on that thing. It's like, the thing I don't agree with Nick on is that we can't feel bad for athletes. And, you know, I went back to see if he was consistent with the Lamar thing, and he fucking ripped Lamar last week. So I'll give it to Nick. He's being consistent, but I just feel like, especially as athletes, and maybe that's why, because we've felt the other side of it, we should be allowed to especially say, hey, I feel bad for that fucking guy, because we know how it feels. And also, you're going to tell me in the 90s, he was acting like back in the day, we never felt bad for anybody. I'm like, I guarantee you there were a bunch of sad emojis at news desks the next day after the 4th time the Bills lost. You know, my family and I, we like to go out west and travel in the summer sometimes, and we've gone to Montana for long stretches. And when we go out there, you know, it can be expensive to travel. You got 3 kids, you're lugging them across the country, the plane tickets add up. When you're gone, you know, you can be double dipping. You can be enjoying your vacation and making money at home. Passive income, my favorite kind of income. Your house might be worth more than you think it is with Airbnb. Find out more at airbnb.com/host. You know me and the Greenlight crew are all about adventure. Whether it's traveling to New Orleans for the Super Bowl, heading for a float trip on the river, or packing up the RV to head into Tennessee for some camping, which we did this past summer. We love getting outside and enjoying ourselves, and Yeti makes the experience even better. Yeti has products for every one of your needs, including their Rambler bottles. The double wall vacuum insulation keeps cold drinks cold and hot drinks hot all day. Yeti's backpack cooler is also a must-have. It keeps ice for days, and the leak-proof liner will keep you and your backseat completely dry. Yeti even has a cast iron skillet that comes in 3 sizes and is perfect for a live fire. You'll see us using Yeti gear all week in New Orleans at the Super Bowl, so join us and get the gear that performs when it matters most. All right, that's football for you. That's what's news. Any other news, guys?
Yeah.
Before we get in these awards,
De'Aaron Fox just got traded to play with Wemby.
Oh, that's fun.
That will be fun.
I like it.
Yeah. That's it, Chris.
I got nothing on that one. De'Aaron Fox, though, I mean, he's a quick guy. I saw him.
He is quick.
Like a
Isn't
fox.
he quick?
yeah.
Like a
He's
Fox.
quick as shit.
He's maybe the fastest player in the league.
He might be able to play free safety.
Perfect last name.
Fox?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
Fun season awards. That's what we're doing
Let's
here.
do it, guys.
All right.
Good.
We did these last year. We're throwing in
Making the
one
smile,
additional
making
one.
space. The
And-
long national nightmare is over. The open is over. I can get to the awards.
Let's get creative. Our fun season awards made up a few of these for our favorite offenses, defenses, coordinators, coaches. And the first one we're kicking off with, the Greatest Show on Turf Award. That is the most fun watching an offense. What is the most fun you had on a Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, since we had games every day this season? What was the best NFL offense to watch?
Greatest show on turf. It had to be the Bills and the Lions game. Like if I'm thinking about one performance, I just have like that game. There was no margin for error for Detroit, and kind of the same thing for the Bills and Rams game. Their defense was so bad, Buffalo, for a couple weeks this year that it made for must-see TV. I'll never forget that game. And then the Malik Willis Indy game. You know, that was the ground and pound, though. That was like a totally different flavor. That was like, let's see if we can, like, I'm sure leading up to that game, Fly on the Wall would be sitting in their meeting rooms being like, as the coaches are like knocking on each other's doors, like, I think we can absolutely butt fuck these people on the ground. I don't think we need to throw the ball at all. Yeah, no, gap scheme run like all day. Would they run for like 300 yards, 350?
They ran it 53 times for 261 yards.
That's assault, dude. That's the type of thing where it's like, and coming into it, you're like, we have to stop the run. That's all they're going to do. Like, all they're going to do. So, yeah, those two for me.
Well, I had Detroit also putting up 50.
Week 17, Drew Lock and Leaky Neighbors putting up 45 points on the Indianapolis Colts. Leaky went for 171, 2 tuds. Giants fell from the number 1 overall pick to 4 at that point. Back up to 3 and may have saved themselves from themselves. That story is yet to be written.
Well, I just remember thinking, like, maybe most embarrassing loss of the year.
For the Colts.
No offense.
No, well, some.
I mean, they got called. That was after
But
that game.
that's how
after Pat McAfee was like, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good on the Colts. Yeah, it takes a lot for Pat to do that. In some dystopian future, am I going to have to do that with the Eagles? Like, what would it take?
Oh,
There will be a point when the Eagles aren't one of the best damn teams in the league every year for like a 2-year period, maybe.
when?
I don't know, but like it's going to test me because I'm going to have to be telling the truth up in this motherfucker.
Not while Howie's there.
No, it's hard to imagine.
It's very hard to imagine.
What were we on? Greatest Show on Turf?
That was
Talking
greatest
about
show on turf.
Drew Lock.
This is 85 Bears Award. The greatest defense. Most fun you had watching a defense this season.
I'll let you guys go because I don't want my list to.
Well, I'm going to go with the Texans. And if you watch the Texans, the guys on their defense, they run downhill. We had the little controversial hit on Trevor Lawrence, but just their defense as a whole, if you go back and watch them, the way they run to the ball and they, what you call run downhill.
Arrows through snow.
Bro, it's fun to watch them if you like defense and you like big hits and guys playing the right way. And still, that hit was controversial with Al-Shaair.
Yeah.
But if you watch all his other plays other than that hit, you would know that he's a guy that he plays hard every down like that, and he tackles. And their defense, again, as a whole, is fun to watch.
No, he's cool with me, man. I mean, he made a mistake,
Yeah.
but it wasn't one that he was like out. I don't think like woke up that morning, I'm gonna fuck up Trevor Lawrence.
Absolutely, I don't think so either.
You know, he might have decided that in a split second, but it can be hard out there.
For sure.
I was stunned once more at the success of the Pittsburgh Steelers. In weeks 1 through 3, they gave up 10 points, 6 points, and 10 points,
Yeah.
getting that rickety-ass offense off to a 3-0 start. And those first 3 were against 2.5 playoff teams, and the Broncos, Chargers, and Falcons being the half team. Just a fun-ass, scary group. You name them. Ogunjobi, Hayward, Highsmith, Patrick Queen,
Minka Fitzpatrick,
Minka,
Joey
Joy Porter. That's
Beanie
just
Bishop,
an impressive
others.
little group right there. Pittsburgh Steelers,
The
my
white guy from
85
NC
Bears.
State.
Peyton Wilson,
whose name I just can never get.
white guy from NC State.
I mean, hell, they got a Landon Roberts.
Yeah.
All right, I got a couple games I want to shout out. I loved watching Denver against the Jets. Everybody knows that. That was like one of my favorite games to watch on Enzo. Well, any angle was good. It was fun. They just
POV.
Yeah, the POV was. I mean,
you fucking
Nolan, what was that, dude?
Yeah, Nolan.
Freaky white boys.
Freaky ass white boys.
Bachelor Nolan.
No, but Vance was cooking that day, and I just shout them out for that game. And then
a thrilling 10-9 victory.
It was awesome. It was a proper rock fight in the rain. Like it was incredible. And then Lions against the Vikings, like when they were down guys late in the year, the CN 2 weeks game. You know, it went a long way exposing Minnesota, but just Aaron Glenn burning the ship, saying, you know, we don't have a lot of guys out here. We're going to play football in 3-second increments. We're not going to play football for 6 seconds tonight. We're going to play we're going to speed these guys up. So that was a lot of fun. And then, you know, I hate to say it because, you know, I joke about the Bills game losing like money. I lost a ton more money in watching this game, but I got hats off to the damn Cowboys against the Bucks in a game where the Bucks had to win. Well, they had more chances down the line, but man, just they were playing hero ball out there.
Overshown.
It was like they were playing for like the coach, but they fired him anyways.
Yeah, maybe just let it expire.
You're fired.
It's not all smiles and glory holes. So, and then I'll give the award to the Rams D line. I kind of went with a unit here. It was a lot of fun to watch. Shout out to Gift Smith, D line coach. Maybe we'll get him on the show eventually at some point. Like I said, he shot me a text late in the season, and I think it was really cool to hear from like the Rams D line coach now. And, you know, being a guy that played in the past and watching that group and just really admiring the way they play. Like when you saw them kind of start putting it together, the first thing I thought was like, who's coaching them? So he did a great job.
He asked if you could get a rush?
No, it was more like, hey, hope to run into you, you know, that sort of thing. Because they were coming up to Philly. I didn't go to that game. Remember, that was a snow game. But at some point, love to get out and see those guys play in person because they're a lot of fun to watch. So 85 Bears award, Rams D-line. And the 85 Bears had a great D-line.
The Bears.
Dirty Dent had like 1 billion sacks.
Bill Walsh award, offensive coordinator.
Yo, it's Cliff for me, man. That was really impressive. I've never been so scared of a rookie piloted offense. It seemed like he put those guys in the right positions all season long. Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler I didn't really have as a dynamic 1-2 punch. They were. Terry McLaurin was Terry McLaurin, but guys like De'Ami Brown and Olamide Zaccheaus were unlocked.
Wahoo.
Zach Ertz looked like he was 25 years old running around out there. It was all very smooth and on schedule.
They didn't take a bunch of negatives and they didn't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's credit to the quarterback, but you know, and also there was a period where you started to say, hey, they figured this offense out. Cliff again late in the season. And Jaden Daniels, with the help of his OC, proved that, hey, you know, some of it was Kyler.
You guys?
You know, because that was a big thing that I was kind of wondering. Hey, and the story's not over because year 2, you saw what happened with Bobby Slowick. And
you saw what happened with Ben Johnson hanging around.
Yeah.
You know, it can go either way.
You guys buying stock in VR? They're saying that Jaden Daniels, the reason why he was
actually,
so ready was because how much time he spent using his VR POV quarterback.
Absolutely. I believe that.
I think it helps.
Andy Reid he's a coach that if you watch the Kansas City Chiefs every week, they're just always ready to play. And I feel like their offense, they're always in position to win games. And when you have enough good players on offense or defense, and as a coaching staff, if you put guys in a position to win and make plays and they end up doing it, you're going to win. You're going to win a lot of games. You know, and I feel like that's what happened this year.
Also, Matt Nagy being there, like, you got to give him his props. I know it's Kansas City. I know it's basically like whoever's there, but I also think, you know, that matters. And we just talked about being a coordinator and then getting a head coaching job and your reputation being damaged. And like, for him to wind up there, it's a great place to wind up. But, they've lauded his role and what he's done for them.
Yep.
Especially, as you said the other day, changing the offensive.
That's a big deal. To me, they've been hitting a moving target for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, totally. Last year, it was just, hey, who can we even be? Who can we afford to be? Can we get these guys to be dependable in the playoffs? And as they usually do, they make a jump in the details. Like their penalties go down, the drops went down. That's another thing when you talk about penalties in the regular season and in the playoffs, and you find it hard to believe they could get that much better. Look at the way they improved last year in the playoffs
And
on the details. And then this year, it's all long drives. You know how on the ball you have to be on details. That's not just Patrick. It's not just Andy. It's all the coaches there.
You said the other night 5-yard chunks.
Yeah,
They get those chunks in 5 yards, 5-yard explosive.
they'll
plays.
kill you slow. I mean, but they're explosive in the most like routine ways.
Mm-hmm.
The way they run mesh is like explosive in that they're so on the details. The angles are all right. And as you can see, guys get picked, guys get, like they're explosive in the way they run gap scheme runs. I mean, they have a really good group up front. They're explosive in their screen game. They're explosive as the down goes on when you're playing zone and you've got Travis Kelce and guys working together like it's a damn basketball game. I mean, like they just do everything right. They don't have to be Miami, the way you'd play Miami and you're deathly afraid of the two fast guys. The one of them used to be there. They don't have to be a team that they don't have to do spectacular shit like Josh hurdling two guys and picking up a 3rd and 8. Like they're going to find the exact weakness and exploit it.
Is Matt Nagy your Bill Walsh?
No, fuck no. Respectfully. I still like Matt Nagy. I would say it's Dave Canales. I think fixing Bryce Young, and maybe Bryce fixing himself. Like, there are 2 guys that I want to shout out as like comeback players. One of them's Bryce, and one of them's Tua. Honestly, let's say this:
Tua?
Yeah, dude, because what happened to him early in the season
Tua.
was awful. I mean, like I remember sitting there and being like, I don't even want to watch the rest of the game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let alone do a breakdown after the game and shit and. Guys get knocked out all the time, but it was like again. And I was like, maybe he shouldn't play anymore. And maybe it's not the safest thing that's happening right now, him continuing on. But I thought he played some of the best ball of his career, honestly, down the stretch in some spots. Now, I still think what I think, but I got to say, like coming back from that injury, it took balls and I thought he played well. So, yeah, Bryce and Canales, man, like, the job he did with him, the confidence. A lot of times you can tell, not just by the execution on the field, but watching the guy kind of move around and the way he operates. And he was a lot more confident. And I think that when you're a player that's struggling, you have to have a coach that builds your confidence. And, I think he's probably the perfect guy.
He did it in a way that would almost like ruin a lot of other, like,
I don't know. I still don't know if he did it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Whatever they did. And I still feel like they should have just started the season with the backup.
Mm-hmm.
Like they end up looking like, oh, they did the right thing because of the result.
Yeah.
But I think you could have got the same result just trotting the back out.
But it did take all that pressure off. And as
for
you
sure.
said, he like totally different player.
For
he went
sure.
in it looking like a rookie quarterback despite having a year, and he came out like a 5-year.
It's a good segue into the next guy I want to mention in this thing, which is September Kubiak.
Mm-hmm.
September Kubiak was something else. The first 2 games of the season, early September Kubiak.
91 points.
It might have just been they were playing the Saints in September, year of our Lord 2024. They were a fucking Super Bowl looking ass team, dude.
They played the Panthers and the Cowboys.
I know that many people knew it wasn't real, but they did look really good the first 2 weeks of the season.
Impressive nonetheless.
And conversely, the Adam Gase Award is going to be given to the Eagles' first quarters.
The defensive side of the ball. The Belichick Award for the best defensive coordinator this season. Chris, who do you have?
Oh, the Belichick Award. Yeah, let me see. Vic Fangio. Look at the way they improved from, we say it all the time, but like I just have this image burnt in my head of the Atlanta game. And, the way it looked exactly like what they said. Hey, this is an antiquated scheme. He's not in vogue. He's just going to give up big chunks and sit back. And like the end of that Atlanta game was like, and the pass rush, man, like nobody was getting home. People were questioning the whole thing. By the end of the season, Nolan Smith was like a big play machine. Jalen Carter, finally people coming around to him being one of the best in the league. Aaron Donald passed him the torch. Milton Williams is going to make tens of millions of dollars here soon. Josh Sweat has been really solid for them. And you turned Nakobe Dean into a damn good player. Lost him. But Zach Bond, who's the headliner of the whole thing, is up for all these awards. And a year ago, most people did not know who he was. And that happened by just honing his skill set and using it in a way that like he could simplify his job description and play off ball. And, he shows his versatility, but I thought it was the focusing in on what he was doing. And then not to mention Cooper DeJean. I mean, putting him in the lineup changed everything. Quignon, you could say he was probably going to be good anyways, but Slay's playing some of the best ball of his late career. And CJ's been great for them. So you go down the line. I didn't even mention Reed Blankenship. Everybody played well.
Let me ask you something. Does it scare you that there's a stat that Patrick Mahomes has never lost to Vic Fangio?
8-0.
Ever?
Well, let's think about where he's been. Now,
it was
Miami,
6 games for the Broncos, 2
Chicago,
Miami.
One of them in a ice storm.
I think in those scores,
somebody got their foot amputated after that game.
Seriously,
remember that?
What game was it?
I don't.
That's when his helmet broke. That's when Patrick Mahomes' helmet.
Yeah, and the playoff game where it was like 0 degrees.
Yeah.
People were like, "This is why we shouldn't have. We should have domes."
They shouldn't have played.
And now,
speaking of
and then
domes,
after the game, I have to defend that people got their foot cut off.
But look, speaking of domes, another stat: Patrick Mahomes has never lost a football game in a dome. How does that make you feel, Chris?
Well, can I take this time to stand on a soapbox and talk about how bad the lighting is in that building?
New Orleans?
Yes.
Yeah. Awful.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise could be a Bevil Conway. Not quite. I mean, maybe not quite.
That's the only corner where we're not standing on the same.
Well, red and green is good.
Yeah, I don't. It's for Christmas.
Mahomes is 15-0 in domed enclosed roof stadiums.
You didn't like that Thursday night game
guys?
in
He's only lost like
2016?
2 to 3 games a year.
Right.
Did you not like that 2016 Thursday night game between the Bills and the Jets? Color rush?
I did not.
It was like a damn St. Nick situation.
Yeah, and for the colorblind, it was a nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know Tanner is?
Yes.
Were you here? Did you know?
No.
Did you know this?
You're colorblind?
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
What color are these
As fuck.
glasses?
Those look green from back here.
Yeah, but
Fucking liar. He can see my glasses clear as day.
No. It doesn't work that way.
No.
There's a couple colors he can't see in detail. One being red. It looks like electric brown.
Mm-hmm.
And then he can't see purple. Purple looks like blue.
Oh,
You see the red and purple.
purple is amazing too.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've heard.
He also went to
You're about to be
Purple.
fucked up in New Orleans. New
Yeah.
Orleans is a bunch of colors. You're not going to be able to see.
We were
few of
charging.
them.
We've been
Oh, yeah.
charging
A
some
few of them.
batteries the last couple of days, and it's red or orange if it's not charged, green if it's charged. And he was staring at it I felt so bad, but we figured out a system for him to figure out if it's charged or not.
What is the system?
The green one is, I guess, a little brighter in your eyes, right?
Well, if one's green and one's red, it hurts my eyes.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I
man.
go, one of these has got to be green. 50-50 shot.
You're missing out, Tanner. You need to make TikTok videos
Yeah.
making fun of yourself
I
doing
was
that.
texting my old boss right before the show, actually, and I told him my goal for 2025 was to beat colorblindness.
Beat color.
Yeah, I think it's all in my head.
Yeah?
I can,
Literally.
You can manifest this?
Yeah,
You just gotta find
earlier
things
today,
like that.
I was like, that one's green. And Reed was like, right. I got like 7 right in a row.
Just trust your gut.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Yeah.
A quick note for the Vic Fangio Patrick Mahomes stat. It is 8-0, but the Denver and Miami offenses scored 6 points, 3 points, 16 points, 16 points, 9 points, 24 points, 14 points, and 7 points.
Take that, stats.
Against
wow.
those Chiefs defenses.
Where was he on the 24-pointer? That sounds like enough to me.
A poor worksman blames his tools. Did you know that?
Also craftsman, too.
Yeah. It's almost the same principle as the solar system.
I asked. Look,
Solar system?
You guys don't get it
Take me
because you
through
don't
it.
watch The Sopranos.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, which episode is that?
we did like 20 years ago.
Matt doesn't even get it. It's over Matt's head. That's a deep cut.
Woo, man.
Can you explain it?
Oh man, yeah, man. It's just the same principle as the solar system, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's when Tony's high on peyote and he's gambling on roulette, and he says it's the same principle as the solar system. and
Okay.
he's winning.
All right. That's good.
Got it.
I have all 153 episodes downloaded on my Apple TV. So I'm ready to rewatch them all.
Nice.
Macon, are you a
Yeah.
Sopranos fan?
Yeah,
You are.
yeah.
Chris, he isn't. So
No, I am. But my point is I saw them all, but
Outstanding.
I just wish I remembered all the little things more because everybody always has the cool jokes.
yeah.
And I'm always having to be like, yeah, I remember that.
Well, I'm with you on that. I can't pull out any
You know what I mean?
details.
Same thing with The Office too, honestly, though. But like The Office, which I loved and know better than The Sopranos, y'all are fucking next level.
Yeah.
It is next level.
I've seen
I went
every episode of The Office like 8 times.
Yeah.
And I don't get like 95% of
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I watched The Office probably like 3 or 4 times fully through, and one night I went to like an Office trivia night, and I was just shocked that you can watch something so many times and then like people ask you questions about it, and
But I do that with movies. I
you not
forget
really
the entire
know.
plot of movies that
Yeah.
I saw like on the train like 2 weeks ago. Seriously.
but you didn't forget the plot.
Saw a
of
movie with
Dog
Jude
Man.
Law,
The Order.
The Order.
You got to watch more movies you like Dog Man. 'cause
Dogman was lit.
you remember that movie?
Yeah, dude. How could you forget a plot like that? The fucking, it's a half dog, half man. They put him back to, and my kids are just sitting there like, what the fuck? The buildings came to life and were like wrecking the city. It was crazy.
Wait, so are you like the mascot for Dog Man when you had your underdog?
Kind of. I am Dogman.
You're Dog Man.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's very good. What was the next award?
We need Nate and Macon's Belichick Award.
Mine's going to D'Amico Ryan. I think he did a great job with the Texans defense. I think they had the short end of this one of a couple of teams that had the short end of the stick with the injury bug for offense for them. But I feel like their defense kept them in a lot of games this year. Brought them to the playoffs, played tough even in the loss in the playoffs. But I feel like that was a defense that maybe people weren't paying attention to. But I look forward to them in the future. And I think D'Amico, he's kind of showing that he's not an easy win. Let's put it like that. And he has the defense playing that way.
You know, you put two halves together offensively, that would help them out too a great deal. I mean, like they struggled out of the half offensively all year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a really hard thing when you're on defense in the second half. You know, you're going right back out there, sudden change. That should get better for them with the hiring of a competent coordinator. You know, you figure out those adjustments.
Nate's guy beat my guy when it mattered most, but mine goes to Jesse Minter, Los Angeles Chargers. Fewest points per game allowed in the NFL. LA, they won 11 games in the regular season. They made it to the big dance, behind in large part a very good defense.
Yeah.
Without a whole lot of superstars.
Yep.
Is the playoffs the big dance?
Yeah.
So what would the Super Bowl be if the playoffs is the big dance?
The national championship game.
The final dance. The daddy-daughter dance. Somebody's the daddy.
Okay.
In everybody's man cave, they always talk about how big is the TV. The most important thing in a man cave is actually the couch. And this year I went with a Sactional. As a guy who used to sack the quarterback, it makes a lot of sense. Love Sactionals. They're easy to put together, and they're even easier to sink into and watch about 5 ball games at once. And that's what we did all year at my house. We got this big Love Sactional. It's withstood the test of time. 17 weeks, plus the playoffs. I'm pretty sure it's going to make it through Super Bowl Sunday. It is a comfortable couch, and like I said, super easy to put together. Of course, Lovesac products are comfortable, but they can go beyond literal comfort. You can rest assured knowing that these are built to last, to grow and change with you as your life changes. This will be the last couch you ever need to purchase. All right, guys, let's talk game days. You know I love a good tailgate, and this year Smirnoff's taking it to new lengths, literally. They're rolling into New Orleans for Super Bowl LIX this weekend with the longest tailgate. We're talking a 60-foot truck bed loaded up with ice-cold cocktails, long grilling stations, and plenty of surprises. There's room for everyone at this tailgate, and it's all going down this Saturday from 1 to 6 at 201 Canal Street. Here's the kicker. We'll be recording the entire time. So pull up, be loud, and give us some moral support. My guys Vernon Davis and Warwick Dunn will be there too, and a special surprise performance. This thing's going to be massive. Smirnoff's the official vodka of the NFL for a reason, because they don't just do tailgates, they do game days. Whether you're in the stands or on your couch, Smirnoff's got you covered. So grab your crew, RSVP at the link in Greenlight's Instagram bio, and we'll see you there. Must be 21 or older to attend, and as always, drink responsibly, my friends.
Madden Award, favorite color commentator or moment?
Yeah,
my-
Tom Brady. Not for the whole award, but I thought stressful was not having Super Bowl rings. So this wasn't daycare. I wanted to have fun. If I wanted to have fun, I would go to Disney World with my kids. He was talking about Baker and his comments on it wasn't fun in Tampa when Tom was there, and Tom got on the mic that same week and just fucking obliterated him. But by the end of the game,
That was like during the game, wasn't it?
yeah, but by the end of the game, and obviously like going forward, whenever I heard him call a game, like he obviously likes Baker.
Yeah.
It just was like, I gotta say something. And that was an interesting moment. I'll give it to Ross Tucker. I think he's the man. We already talked about him this year. Enjoy hearing him call games. If I had to do like an off the beaten path, like don't pull from the A teams and put together a group to do the Super Bowl, I'd love to hear like Harlan and Tucker. Kevin Harlan's the man.
And when Greg Olsen be on that list?
Yeah, Greg for sure too.
Because
Now he's no longer an A-list.
exactly.
I just think Ross deserves some shine.
Yeah,
Greg.
Yeah, put them in a 3-man booth.
that'd be great.
What was it? The 7th or 9th floor? Greg.
7th floor
7th
crew.
floor crew.
Yeah. Tried to scrub that from his resume.
They
Macon.
won't let him.
I think Troy Aikman
Mm.
is sincerely sliding into the John Madden role
He's incredible.
as the best
Yes.
and the guy you always look forward to hearing every week.
He's great.
He's been outstanding.
Thank you.
And there's plenty of so-so out there.
And he calls out the NFL a good bit.
Yeah, the thing
Yeah.
about the gambling was like an inside thought.
Boom.
But he really is good, man. He can convey what's going on just to the point.
Yep.
You know, and him and Joe took a lot of shit over the years because they're the big show, they're the big dance, you know, and everybody's watching. So, you know, heavy is the head that wears the crown. I think they do a great job, both of them.
Say word.
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 My favorite commentator moment, my Madden Award, is also going to Tom Brady talking about Austin Eckler's tiny hands after he fumbled
What did he say? I can't remember.
He's like, yeah, Eckler is also a guy that in the past he's had issues with fumbling, and then he's like, yeah, it's those tiny hands he has.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did. And
It's such an emasculating thing.
while I was watching, I was like, yo, to be Austin Eckler, and after he gets off the field after this loss, and actually, did they win that game? Whatever. After this game, and just to see in a moment like that when you fumble, to hear Tom Brady make
who's
fun
probably
of your
got huge hands.
make fun of your small hands.
Eckler's got to
Doesn't feel
secure
good.
that ball.
Who's
He's
got
had
the
fumbling
smallest
issues.
hands in here?
I
Does anybody have small hands?
I have pretty small hands.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not Nate.
Yeah.
It's a hand check.
But hold on, I'm not calling smallest.
No.
Look, say the quote. What did he say?
Eckler's got to secure that ball. He's had fumbling problems over the course of his career. He's got very small hands.
Very.
It wasn't secured against his body because naturally, as he's trying to get up, you're just kind of using your one hand to get up, and you don't have a chance to cover it up. Very small hands.
If you have very small hands, do you like keep them in your pockets a lot? Does that really factor into most of your interactions? You got to meet new people. You're worried.
These little tiny hands. Those tiny hands.
Um,
Grab my strong hand.
take my strong hand.
We got the Moss Award, the contract year guy who has crushed it this season.
What'd you guys have? I got to be honest. I didn't have anything.
You don't have anything?
I could give you Milton Williams.
What about T. Higgins?
I got T. Higgins.
Yeah.
T. Higgins. I
Yeah.
think he has enough money to go to Mykonos whenever he wants now.
Blank
He's
check.
about to.
No question, he's a number one somewhere. 76 yards a game in 10 TDs in 12 games, I think it was.
Oof.
Next to Jamar, T. Higgins.
Yeah.
Again, a guy you don't have to worry about being a one because, it's not – he's a 50-50 ball guy. Just throw it to him. Doesn't really matter who's on him. He's got a size advantage over most guys. I mean, fuck, dude. Some of the best hands in the NFL.
T. Higgins, go to the Commanders. Shake the league up.
Oof.
Flacco Award, old guy who did work this season.
Calais Campbell. I feel so far removed from football. It's crazy.
Calais Campbell.
He is my age.
Yeah.
Same year.
Yes.
Same year.
And yet,
crazy.
in your head pictures, he's like James Earl Jones or
Yes.
something.
Yeah, dude. He has a voice like that.
Mm-hmm.
Deeper. More like a friendly monster in a Pixar movie.
That's good. It's good. Painted a picture.
Damn, what's his name? I can't think of his
I think
name.
this
Furry.
Sully.
Sully.
Yeah, good pull.
Yeah.
Monster Inc.
Friendly monster.
Yeah, he's furry. That's how in my head pictures.
Shout out Bobby Wagner of the Washington team.
Hell yeah. Zach Ertz too.
He's just really good. Pretty old.
Brandon Graham should be on the list.
My Flacco Award is going to my old teammate, Mercedes Lewis, who is still out there.
Jason Peters.
Mm.
Do you know how much you got to love football? Seriously.
Yeah.
For him to still be out there. He's 42? Is he the oldest player in the NFL, position player in the NFL?
43. He's got
43. Offensive tackle. He's been on practice squad. He's been a guy loves the game. Junkie. Lifer.
43 doing two spot. Could you imagine?
Slater Award, special team award, the best special teamer.
I'm going to give it to Chris Boswell because he's really good at kicking, and he's not Justin Tucker, and he didn't forget to kick seemingly half the league, including Justin Tucker, and now I understand maybe why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Boswell, he's the ultimate, he's a football player's kicker. He's out there in the tall grass at Heinz Field, not Heinz Field, at Acrisure. And he's hitting it out of the rough every time. I know they got some weird weather systems coming off the river.
Mm-hmm.
3 of them, 3 rivers.
All those rivers.
The rivers.
So always outdoors. He doesn't hide. Chris Boswell can't hide. Shout out to him.
Nate, who'd you have?
I had Cavante Turpin, the small guy from the Cowboys. Very, very fast. He had a game this year where he scored a kick return for a touchdown and a punt return for a touchdown. And for a team that didn't have too many bright spots this year, I think Turpin, he did that for special teams for the Cowboys.
And they used him on offense.
Yeah, they did.
Which they really, I think, going forward, more of it.
Yep.
Khalif Raymond, Detroit Lions.
Mm-hmm.
I like this guy because he attempted so many returns. There's I'm going to start tracking this next year, fair catch to return ratio. Khalif didn't see a ball in the air he didn't want to catch and then run with.
Nice.
There's some other guys now.
They're passing it up.
Won't mention names. Jaden Reed, 30 fair catches, leading the league.
Wow.
Cowboys guy, Marvin Mims, 25 fair catches.
This is off of punts or kickoffs?
Those are punts.
Off of punts. Okay.
Khalif Raymond, 13 plus yards a punt return.
Mm-hmm.
That'll help.
Help big time.
Help big time.
Big Dick Nick Award. Favorite backup quarterback.
Jameis Winston. I know. I made sure you didn't have him. He was just on inside the NFL, bro. We're gonna see him at the Super Bowl.
Amazing.
We're gonna kick it. His guy's picking me up at the airport.
Amazing.
Is this his granddad? His granddad. That's how he calls him.
It's not his granddad, but they call him granddaddy.
Well, dude, this guy's picking me up at the airport, and he is a fucking piece of work. He's the man. So Jameis is a guy that beat the Ravens and the Steelers this year, and beat the Steelers in the snow. Who could forget that game? His first snow game. He played his ass off.
Bevil Conway.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was amazing.
Nate,
also, shout out to Kenny Pickett if y'all didn't take him. I don't want
just say everybody.
No, just because Kenny Pickett had like the backup's dream game, like clinching the division in the Kelly Greens.
Yeah.
Growing up an Eagles fan, that was crazy.
My Big Dick Nick Award is going to Marcus Mariota. He stepped in. Jaden Daniels probably had some broken ribs a few games early in the season, and Mariota stepped in, won a few games, got cashed in on a few of his bonuses, which is always good to hear guys making some big time money by just doing your job.
He's a good guy. You could just tell.
And he ran the Commanders tush push. He was their tush push guy.
Yeah.
Specialist.
And Mariota, this funny story. One time I was in Hawaii on vacation, and Mariota was playing, and like when you're in Hawaii, games are on at like 2 in the afternoon or like whatever it is because the time difference, and everything on the island shut down because he was playing.
Really?
Like
It's like Texas, but like on an island.
And it was like all the little local stores, it was like Mariota's playing. Like literally for those 2 to 3 hours until that game was over, and then like everything opened back up. And I thought that
was this like your rookie year? Had to be.
It had to be.
Because he's what, 13, class of 13?
Yeah, I have to look back.
He's Jameis's year.
Yeah, what years I was there, but I just thought that I was like, yo, this is dope that him being here. And you don't know how, like, I don't think Hawaii's that big of a football community, but just for them to be aware and know, like, hey, like, he's one of our guys and he's doing it at the highest level.
They need to make a varsity blues, but in Hawaii.
You should pitch that.
Actually,
they have enough players and enough
movie.
big time guys.
Be a good movie.
Yeah, it probably would be.
Yeah.
Mix in some surfing scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Can I interest you guys in 17 of 22 on the season? 3 touchdowns, 0 picks.
Let's guess.
Got sacked 0 times. Averaged more than 4 yards a carry.
17 to 22.
My guy from the Patriots.
No?
It's one start.
That was a good guess.
Damn.
It's one start.
Or
2 games played.
Oh, wow. Garbage time. So it's going to be a...
AFC East.
It's Mitchell Trubisky? No.
Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod. A Hokie. You gave it to a Hokie.
My favorite Hokie. He could start for half the freaking teams in the league.
Any given day.
Guy's a good
Just
football
drop
player.
him in the
I'm not
locker
gonna
room.
lie.
Quarterback.
One of my favorite UVA moments is being able to sack Tyrod Taylor in my last game
Say words.
You got him down.
on a bootleg
Ooh.
by the jersey, and was able to hold on, get a sack,
You ran him down.
grabbed him, just played it. I don't even know if I was playing the right key. I was playing end at this point. So
Number 98 in
yep,
your program.
yep,
You know the rest.
number one in your heart.
How about the Jeremy Lin Award?
Jeremy Lin Award, which
Pass the
is
pan.
somebody who just had
Jeremy
like a
Lin?
moment.
I hate it had to be him.
I think it was Joe Flacco. There was a real moment there where we were all like, yeah, just ride it out with Joe. And I don't think they were going anywhere either way, but for a minute there, I was jumping out of the gym I just want to, that what they did in Cleveland last year with him at times was so impressive. I thought they could do it again in Indy. Just didn't work out. And also Drew Lock, the Drew Lock game. You pointed that out before we just turned it on. What were his stats in that game? You already mentioned it.
45-pointer. I only have Leaky Neighbors committed to memory, which was 17 for 171 and 2 touchdowns.
Unbelievable. That guy's so good.
Yeah, Leak.
Also shows you how good they could be pretty quickly with a number one right like that.
Like Drew Lock.
Drew Lock went
And then
17
Tyrone Tracy.
17
And-
to 23, 309, 4 tutties. 5 carries, 0 yards. He really had to pick it up on the
I
ground.
think the Giants could be okay before you know it.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I have Derek Carr start the season off hot, made Saints putting up a lot of points, and then it went downhill fast for them. And
Jeremy Lin.
I neglected to prepare for this particular award because I did not know what it meant by just Jeremy Lin.
okay.
And then I forgot to ask what it's meant by the Jeremy Lin Award.
But you would agree with our sentiments.
For sure.
How about the Armchair Quarterback Award? This
Oh,
is the
shit.
best social media presence.
Right.
Man, I have
Mo
no
favorite
idea.
friend.
You know?
You would know.
Yeah, this is easy.
Is it Mike?
My guy, Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons. I mean, he did a great job. Down year on the field, but a big year off the field for him. Media presence, followers, subscriptions, up. And hey, like if your owner's gonna do it like that, I mean, it trickles down. You might as well just follow the trend, you know? Why should you lose out on money off the field? That's how Jerry Jones looks at it.
Yeah.
And these are the season moments awards. Everyone knows them. Moments from the season.
My Bevil Conway is the snow game, San Francisco and Buffalo. Probably more specifically the play where Amari Cooper lateraled the ball to Josh and he dove for the pylon. That was cool, man. That was a fucking sick game to watch.
I also had a snow game that's been mentioned. The first one of the year, Cleveland and Pittsburgh, that Cleveland won
That was
once per
gorgeous.
game. Somebody zagged on the internet this year, which I kind of liked. Are we sure? Are we positive that we like snow games?
We love them.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
But can we think about it for a second?
We love them.
Are we sure?
Yes.
Yes.
Positive.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Positive.
It's good to make sure.
Unless we
But
can,
yes.
unless we can simulate like a sandstorm in a game, snowstorms is the best.
You'd like to see
remember-
a sandstorm?
Yes. Yes.
Why?
The elements of the sand, what they bring, like you know how like snow.
What's that dune sound?
You know how snow is just like
People are like hitting the ground and then Vita Vea comes out.
I just think it would be a different element, and then the sand falling. If you let it accumulate on the field like they do snow for a little bit, it's different running surface, makes it kind of harder. It'll be similar to like when
Like
you
a
watch
beach.
it's
Like
kind
a
of-
beach.
Like a
Yeah,
beach. Why don't
like-
they just play on the beach
but like
in your
no,
sand game?
yeah, that's a little too much. But it's kind of like tennis when they play in the clay courts. You know,
There you go.
A little
Yeah.
different surface.
Yep.
Switch it up. Same game, different surface.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Football, same surfaced.
Just a thought.
Anti-Bevil Conway.
Oof.
The end of the Bears Lions game on Thanksgiving. It's not exactly like but even visually, it was awful.
Lions barely won. Oh, right. Eberflus.
Yeah, that was just like of all the moments this year that you were just like, oh my God, this is professional sports.
This is really happening.
It was crazy,
Didn't
man.
they wait an extra day to fire him?
Yeah, and then maybe so, but here's the craziest thing: you pick Thanksgiving to do that,
right?
Like everybody's watching.
Yep.
Every human being is watching that game. It was, just embarrassing.
Yeah, my anti-Bevil is going to. I don't even want to bring this back up, but Tank Dell's injury, just that whole scene.
Jeepers.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, no, you're not wrong.
That whole scene, like, I don't think there's really too many times I can remember they show guys in an active game, like with their helmets off, crying, like from seeing like an in real time injury happening. And I just think that visual is kind of like an anti-Bevel, like just all.
While we're here,
together.
let's talk about Kevin Ware.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No,
Might as well.
It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same thing,
Too.
bro. It's the same thing. And I remember watching the replays of that too, with people on the bench, their facial expressions being in front of it and being like just being in shock, because you don't really, you maybe think that something like that can happen because the football is so violent or whatever, and basketball is maybe different. You don't think that you can see that gruesome of an injury, but it just goes to show like
it was the
we're
people
human.
crying for me.
Yeah.
Just seeing somebody, I've seen a lot of injuries and I've seen a lot of reactions to injuries. I don't see a lot of people crying.
Yeah.
And I know part of it is just CJ might be emotional. It's his boy and everything, but like,
But
I think
still,
you can always tell how bad an injury is by the people's facial expressions in the circle around the injury.
absolutely.
And for trainers, they got to go out there and like keep a straight face, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Shout out to the trainers.
Shout out.
For sure. Anti-Bevel. Look, I love greatness. I appreciate greatness. I'm tired of seeing the same teams, and I would have liked a different Super Bowl. And my anti-Bevel is Super Bowl licks, where we're going to see red and green and the Chiefs and the Eagles. And if we just spiced it up a little bit with Eagles Bills, for instance, I think that would have
Anything
been
but
really
the Commanders
special.
in these uniforms.
Commanders and Chiefs would have been on a variety of levels something else.
Something else.
But I just want to speak for the parody people out there.
How about the best seat?
Oh, best seat. Best seat, Bo Allen sitting in a suite with Taylor Swift. Like you're in the center. That's Bo loves that. He's in the center of the universe, dude. He's hanging out with Taylor Swift.
And low key, that whole thing swung him into a whole new job. If you really think about it,
I know now
because they thought it was.
It's like saving Silverman with his replacement friends. He's not going to hang out with us anymore. No, but also Caitlin Clark was in that suite as well.
Shout out to Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
She had a stalker, a real stalker. He got into court and sat down and said, "Lock me up."
He walked in. He go, yeah, guilty as charged.
Oh my goodness! Like,
They're
you know how great you have to be at something to have that level of a stalker.
I guess, yeah. That guy was.
Yeah.
Sir, you have a right to remain
What did
silent,
his representation think?
and I expect you to exercise it.
Worst seat, his lawyer.
Oh my goodness!
All right, I want you when we get in there, don't say anything.
That's probably exactly how it went.
Just all right, I got you.
Let me cook.
It's the lean back in the chair while he says that takes me over the top. Oh man, I'm sorry.
Stalkers aren't funny,
man.
but boy,
Is that your best seat, Nate?
Nah, best seat is going to Howie Roseman.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Howie Roseman.
you have him too.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, man. Year after year,
The Twitter GM.
yeah.
I love it, and he managed to not one. You guys have two The Eagles have 2 white D-backs in the game at the same time, and they are playing lights out. And I just feel like year after year, he's just getting guys that maybe at the start of the season, everyone's kind of like, huh? And then by the end of the season, you're just like, damn, this guy is good.
Yeah.
Like
He has an Australian tackle,
Yep.
a 6'7" guard, and white DBs.
I love it.
Where's he finding this stuff?
No idea.
It's un-
Unhook the trailer.
no, it's crazy. Unhook the trailer.
Go, son.
He was quoting Bane last week.
I
So
was wondering what would break first. Your spirit or your body? He did it perfectly.
he does sound exactly like
He
Bane.
did it perfectly.
Scarier than Bane.
Yeah. A little bit bigger, probably.
Yeah.
Worst seat. How about the worst seat?
Oh,
How about the worst?
The worst seat. I was going to bring this up just for conversational purposes, but I think Jason Kelsey's seat this weekend sucks.
Agreed.
He has to, like, I don't know. I wouldn't even ask him. I will this week. I'll ask him. Like, who you rooting for?
Do you think his seat sucks more this Super Bowl or in 2022 when he was playing?
No, this Super
Probably
Bowl.
this.
Because when you're playing, it's easy. You want to win the game. But then now you're like, am I a bad guy rooting against my brother? Which I don't think he is necessarily. I also think it makes it easier for him that Travis has won twice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like actually more than twice now, right?
Mm-hmm.
3.
Mhm.
So that, I mean, shit, I guess you can kind of just say, hey, he's got enough of them. But doesn't it feel weird rooting against your brother?
100%.
You know, when Eli Manning was in the suite and Peyton won with the Broncos, and I felt bad for Eli because he just doesn't have a good, like, excited face. Like, I don't think there's any ill will he's harboring towards his brother.
And wasn't that shot like, I think there was still time on the clock, or there was some situation to where I think Peyton was saying Eli was trying to figure out, he was in game mode. He was trying to figure out
Whatever it was, he's just not the best guy to, like, you know, read his body language or his facial expressions.
No doubt.
I'm doing this on the fly because it just made me think about it when you said it. The worst seat, I'm giving it to Taylor Swift, because if you're a real Swiftie, you know that Taylor Swift is actually an Eagles fan. And so now she's in the predicament where if the Eagles win, everything with her and Eagles jersey and paraphernalia on is going to go viral for the next however many months. And that might be...
Sounds like a pretty good seat.
Yeah.
On the contrary.
Have you heard Nate's
yeah.
give him what you think's going to happen?
So after Kansas City inevitably wins this game on a controversial call from the refs, and they win, and the confetti, the red and whatever color confetti's coming down on the field, red and yellow, and we're going to see a bunch of bodyguards walking to the field, and you're going to be like, what's that? And it's going to be them bringing Taylor Swift down, and they're going to bring her to the stage to Travis, who will have the ring somewhere in his cup or jockstrap, and he will pull it out and he will propose.
He'll pull what out?
He's going to have it in his
The ring.
jockstrap?
He's going to pull the ring out.
Oh, God.
Smelling like dick. Diamond. Smelling like nutsack. That's not how you propose.
And he's going to propose.
You don't think he would give it to an equipment manager?
Nope.
Instead, he's going to be running around with a cushion cut diamond in between his testicles.
Yep. And it's going to be, he's going to
chafing his
give her
gooch.
a ring and a friendship bracelet that says forever on it. And it's going to be the #1 watch clip ever. Like,
I will be
time.
so mad, and I hope to God that they get married and live a long, happy life together, because I like them both. I mean, what's not to like about those two? But if they do this weekend,
oh man,
people are gonna go nuts. Their heads are gonna explode.
Yeah,
and I'm afraid that it's gonna drive the nation into a state of
Further disarray.
Just like, yeah.
It's gonna be like the Dave
Stupidity.
Chappelle. It's gonna be like the Dave Chappelle skit. Take your mask off.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was thinking about when his fucking head exploded. Show us your face, brother.
Yeah. You want to see it? Yeah.
That's how people are going to react if they get married. They're going to be like, script, and then I can't do my fucking job here because everybody thinks the game is scripted. I might take some time off if they get married this weekend.
Maybe she could propose to him.
That would be.
It would take the jock strap out of the equation.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Entirely.
Macon, did you have a worse seat?
It's played out, but I guess Joe Shane's kid at the breakfast table. It's like, oh, you only get this job once. Why don't you take Jaden Daniels?
Mm-hmm.
And while not possible, you know, trading with a division rival to get up to 2 to take a generational talent, it's got to be like, wish that hadn't been recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe worse seat Joe Shane when you think about it, because he did exactly what you probably should have done, not paying Saquon. You weren't ready to win. People just hate you either way. If he stayed, they'd have been like, they're killing this guy's career, which they were.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of it, not possible, yet everybody talks about, oh, they should have took Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Because his kid said that they should. And then Danny Dimes, you know.
But
I'm going to merge an award right now, and because you guys are already talking about it, my fly on the wall would be just in all the scenarios you guys are talking about, and just having or hearing his kid maybe throughout the season, every time Jaden Daniels had a good game, be like, see?
Oh, yeah. He probably like kind of like, there he is again, like elbows him, and he's like,
Jaden Daniels.
And then I wonder like if he ever had a bad day, like, yo, son, shut the fuck
it's
up.
not fucking funny, son. I don't like any of your jokes, but I'm not going to pretend to laugh at this one.
Because that hurts.
Yeah, dude. It was not possible.
But even if the Giants had scooped up Jaden, they don't get Malik. You know, who's he throwing the ball to? No offense.
I think most people would say, hey, like,
I'll
scoop
take
him
the
up.
quarterback.
But yeah, that's a good way to soften the blow.
Yeah. Fly on the wall.
Oh, I also want to give a best seat out to Robert Saleh. I just think about that interview that they ran him down for in the grocery store parking lot, and they were like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "He's fine.
He's pretty good."
Like, he's been fantasizing about this moment, like pushing a fucking shopping cart.
Check's still hitting, and he's gonna go hang out with his buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to Green Bay. So yeah, what was fly on the wall?
Fly on the wall.
Fly on the wall. What did I still want to know what C.J. Gardner-Johnson said to get ejected? It's akin to the Chris Jones mystery against Indianapolis a couple years ago, where he said something to an official or to Matt Ryan and was ejected.
I don't think there's footage of this because I think Jera was just talking to Schefter, but I really want to see Jerry saying he ain't Brian no more. Because the way it comes across on paper, it's one of the more asinine quotes to try to boost your career assistant head coach that I've ever read. He because he is still Brian.
What could be like a severance thing.
He'll remain Brian.
Yeah. No, he's still Brian. But what he's saying is he's not that fucking bad anymore. If that's the way you took it. I didn't see the quote.
I know. That's why I want to be a fly on the wall, seeing him say it.
I didn't hear it. This is the first time hearing
time.
this. It's the first time I've heard this.
He ain't Brian no more.
Well, that sounds tough to defend.
Jerry had a crazy year. He got caught talking about
Somebody's piece.
dick sizes.
Yeah.
Brian Schottenheimer is known as a career assistant. He ain't Brian no more. He is now known as the head coach of the
See, you
Dallas
just needed more
Cowboys.
context.
No, I had that context. I think what Jerry was going for was he ain't career assistant no more.
Right.
Crossed the wires with all that line memorization.
Yeah, does he just call
He
him
calls him something else now.
Yeah.
every time?
Head
Hey,
coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Brian with a Y.
Schottenheimer.
How old is Jerry?
80,
84, I think.
84.
82.
82.
82. You got to give it to him. 82. still doing interviews all the time.
Making cameos and
He can mess
TV
up.
shows.
Players fuck up a little bit.
No, like I don't even think it's a fuck up. I just think it's a remarkable quote. He ain't Brian no more.
He's had some doozies
I have a feeling
this month.
Glory hole.
Mhm.
Glory hole.
How about the Hollow Man?
We
Hollow
all
Man.
know who it is. We all know.
Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
But I don't want to spend too much time on it because it still
Okay.
pains me to think about what happened.
Yeah.
But
That's-
I want to get the guy who spit on Devontae Smith.
Oh.
You know, when that happened, I said the Saints are now they're in trouble. You know, it's just karma's coming back. And after they lost that game, they went on a 6-game losing streak. You know what number Devontae Smith is?
6.
Ooh.
Now it's a 7-game losing streak, but you see the way I play with the numbers there. At that point, they were 2-0 with a 91-19 point differential,
Mm.
and it went downhill.
Shouldn't spit.
Shouldn't spit on Devontae Smith, that's for sure.
Shouldn't spit on anybody.
No, you
'Cause
shouldn't.
They really deserve it.
It's not all smiles and glory holes.
Hollow Man Liam Cohen. It's a
That
it's
was,
a tall mountain to overcome.
that was an all-time.
It's
It's his eyes darting around the
Hey.
room.
even if he turns into Bill Belichick,
Easy. Easy
That-
on my jag.
the eyebrow,
Yeah, the eyebrow thing.
the
Yeah.
I've
Did I
seen it.
do it?
I've seen a couple clips now
Oh.
that it's approaching being problematic. I've seen
I-
a couple clips that.
I think it's legitimately an issue.
Ryan did have a
No.
good point with you the other night when
What
he
do you
said
say?
it was a lot of these interviews are the first time these guys are in the spotlight. So
No
it's a little
question.
tough, but
He just took a big swing. If you're going to take a big swing like that, you have to really get with somebody in the community before you shout out the community
Yep.
and let the community tell you how to say Duval.
Mm-hmm.
But look,
It was like he practiced with his wife who gave him like the wrong information.
it's a new regime. Now, what happens if the Jaguars just turn it around immensely and he changes it for them and everyone is going to start saying Duval?
Now that would be pretty
that
incredible.
actually would be tight.
If things start going well for him,
Embrace it.
That's
he
how
can
it's,
turn a negative into a positive.
Yeah.
you know, just
Glass
give him a
half full.
chance.
Yeah.
How about the STL Memorial Award?
There's a couple rookies I want to shout out. Brian Thomas Jr., if you didn't watch Jacksonville, is incredible.
Duval.
As well as
Apparently-
Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
The people voting for the Pro Bowl didn't watch Brian Thomas Jr. either because he was originally snubbed. Ridiculous.
He's
Ridiculous.
got a chance. Him and Neighbors are going to be so good for so long.
And they're going to be linked together at the LSU tie.
Yep.
It's another Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase.
And the guy I want to also shout out is the Buccaneers duck handler. The guy that got the duck. When the duck was loose on the field, the guy returned the duck to safety, held it right there by the nape of its neck, and escorted it out into the parking lot.
Mm.
And he looked just like a guy that you would figure would be comfortable picking up a duck. It's central casting.
And the best part of that, his first name is Anchor. Anchor Brandt.
That guy, shout out Anchor Bryant.
He's the flag runner for the Bucks as well.
Anchor Brandt.
Nice.
It's a cool name.
Shout out Chuba Hubbard. 8th in the NFL in rushing. Who'd have thought it? Chuba Hubbard.
Who would have thunk it?
Without quarterback setting the world on fire, for the most part.
Good back.
Chuba Hubbard, 25 years old. Oklahoma State Poke. He can tote the rock a little bit. That Chuba Hubbard.
Bad fumbles.
Hard to disagree.
Taught everybody to say his name correctly.
Nice.
And only 15 games. You motherfuckers. Most of these guys playing 17 games out there. Chuba Hubbard suits up 15 times and finished 8th in the league in rushing.
Impressive.
You know, Saquon Barkley only played 16 games.
Mm.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah. Did.
It's really cost them so far.
Mine's going Trey Hendrickson. He was a guy, the Bengals, they were cooked pretty early. Then they weren't cooked. Then they got cooked again. But all while it was happening, Trey was getting sacked.
He was cooking.
He was just getting sacks, going to work, getting sacks, no matter what the score was.
It's really hard to do.
And yeah, it is hard to do.
Especially without not a lot of help around him.
But he was doing it.
Yeah.
Do you two have a best flight, worst flight? Anything you want to throw?
We kind of talked about it. Well, worst flight we didn't talk about. I would say that Misery Loves Company, Devontae Adams from Las Vegas to New York. From a bad situation to a bad situation. And maybe you thought it was going to go better, but it didn't. And I just knew it from the start. The way him and Aaron Rodgers, their shit-eating grins on their live. And now he probably thinks about that like, damn, this season sucked.
But the flight was probably chartered.
Yeah.
It's probably a good flight in a vacuum.
I got a best flight, also chartered for a team after a loss. Now, hold on. The Philadelphia Eagles losing to D.C. 36-33.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably like a 7-minute flight from Washington to
train
Philly.
ride.
Okay. And
So a lot of time to do whatever you're going to say they did.
everyone who had to worry about playing on or near Christmas, Eagles didn't have to worry about that. They played on December the 22nd, didn't play again for a week, December the 29th. And it gave them that little, ended a 1,000,000-game winning streak, which, you don't want
Always
to
a
go
good
into
thing.
the playoffs winning 1,000,000 games in a row, and allowed them that chip on the shoulder for the NFC Championship game
Yeah.
when they throttled the Commanders.
Yeah.
Throttled.
Wasn't even close. Saw him in person.
BTA.
So that's the season awards. Great work, fellas.
Thank you.
Great work.
Thank you.
Great work. Now we've got one more segment of the show today.
I got a couple. I want to give out play of the year. Probably everybody's thinking the Hail Mary, but if we're going off of game-winning scores, the Drake May to force overtime against the Titans was like an SB-worthy kind of play in a vacuum, but it was for nothing, and they ended up losing the game anyways.
For
That
the
was like
over.
the-
It was for the over.
It was for the over.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that play probably was the only play that we saw while watching at your house in
Yep.
that game.
Yep, for real. We just zoomed in and it happened.
Yep.
Also, the Lamar stiff arming Hubbard in the red zone was like jaw dropping. And then there, another play that probably nobody talks about, but was just as good. I don't want to say it was just as good as the Beckham catch because part of the Beckham catch is being first.
Mm-hmm.
But like the Garrett Wilson against the Texans catch was unbelievable. And I just want to give him like the Wilson Award, which is basically a castaway award. Somebody rescue that guy.
Ooh, Denver
Yeah.
Broncos.
Somebody
Free
rescue that
Wilson.
guy.
Wilson.
Best trend was the stick a fork in him guy, the Philly guy, the Philly fan who liked to stick a fork in everybody they beat. He went viral this year. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see it.
Finished! Put the fork in them! Finished! The Coke Dean with a great play!
And the worst trend is the I have a gun celebration. It's just not a good celebration. It has nothing to do with football. And it's like every time I see somebody do it, I'm like, bro, like that's just a bad football play.
I don't want to ruin.
You're gonna get flagged.
I don't want to ruin your take, but it kind of does.
No, it doesn't.
On defense, it does.
No, it doesn't because they go 15 yards
Yeah.
and you don't have a gun.
I got the strap. That's the interpretation.
I know. Hey, seatbelt. I'm all for it. Once I figured out it was a seatbelt, I thought it was a sword in a sheath for a long time. I was like, man, these guys, they must have gone to medieval times on one of these away trips because they love this sword in the sheath celebration.
We got some archery celebration coming. No.
Yeah, well, archery's okay
Bruh, Eric,
because not a lot of people are getting killed with bow and arrows. We just lead the league in that thing. And I'm like, what are we doing?
True.
Eric
He's like,
O'Neal,
true.
JMU, shout out. He was the guy who was like,
Oh yeah, he was letting it go.
he unleashed about 12 arrows,
Oh, yeah, he
dude.
did. It was
Like,
like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then he got pushed, and he was over there by himself. And
Yeah,
kept
and
doing it.
the
Yep.
guy who pushed him, he got him.
That was funny.
And then the guy got pushed, came back, and he's like, "Why are you still doing that to me?"
That's so funny.
Oh,
JMU too
man.
Shout
on the
out.
map.
They're the color purple, Tanner.
The
by the way.
Dukes.
Yeah.
BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. New customers sign up and get up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if your first bet loses. Then check back for promotions like odds boosts, no sweat bets, and NBA and NHL second chance promos. All from the sportsbook born in Vegas. But yeah, next time you talk to us, we will be in New Orleans. So Macon too. So those poor Tulane students don't know what's going to hit them. You think anybody's going to be like, hey,
You're the guy.
I know you.
You're the guy.
Escorted off campus.
Yeah. All right. Take care.